Hey, I'm Miss Chrissie,
And I'm Steve.
and this is JAGcast, episode number 124, the podcast of the Jenkintown Arts Garage.
Yeah, where we talk to artists, entrepreneurs, and other interesting people at the intersection of the arts and technology. Although
Yep.
this week is once again a week where we don't have a guest.
Yeah, we're working on it. It's
We're
just
kind
summer, and it's weird.
However, we've had some fun stuff has happened recently. We thought today we were gonna talk about some of our like little adventures out in town,
Yep.
especially for those of you who are maybe unfamiliar with the best places to get a drink in Jenkintown. We're here to help you today.
Nice. Yeah, we're going to talk about some of the places we've been going out to recently this summer.
Yeah, and to kind of segue into this thing, I want to start with a little bit of a story about what I did after the last podcast. So, like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I went to Gobletstock 9, which is the anniversary of Broken Goblet. We've talked about on the show before. There's a big anniversary event every year. Multiple bands will play. Lots of beer is tapped. It's a really fun time. And I went there, of course, by myself because you weren't going to be drinking with me. And the thing I want to talk about though was the end of the night. The last band was called Hop Suey, and it was this System of a Down cover band made up of some the owners of Broken Goblet, friend Reese, some other people. They're all like B-gob people, and they also introduced like new lighting at the time. And I have some amazing photos I have to get to. They have all these. They literally had signs on the doors, Chrissy, that said if you have like epilepsy or you're worried about it,
Right. You did tell me this. Yeah.
yeah, you
Like
had to be
they got
careful.
strobes.
Yeah, so the whole day I'm like, what is this? What does this mean? And so yeah, so they had these lights up on behind the stage, and they would just go like there's a like maybe like 4 or 5 of them like behind them, and yeah, they would strobe in order in different patterns, but the way they did the lighting was like everything was just dark. And this place was
And then the
full.
strobe.
Yeah, and then they would strobe, and then like sometimes. I mean, it wasn't like a club scene, but yeah, it was like that. It would do that, and they would do it in line with some of the music, some of the beats. It's hard to describe, but it was really cool. But it was awful for photography. It was so hard.
Yeah, I
I
could
ended
see
up
that.
so because it was like going from darkness to like daylight for a brief second,
So
and
what did
so
you do? Just shoot really, really fast and hope for the best?
I mean, I guess that's one strategy, but I'd already taken a lot of photos and today, and I was trying not to have too many. But yeah, basically a version of that. What I was doing was I started trying to when it was really dark and they were using the strobes. I was trying to time my shots, so I'd line them up. I picked my position, what I was trying to do, and then I would just wait until the light when they were going in order. Wait till like the light before the one I wanted to hit the person, illuminate the person, went off, and then I try to time my shots in little bursts, which was really difficult because they were very fast. One and so I was just trying to time it, and I would be going by the timing of the light before the one I wanted to hit. And yeah, and then I would take a burst of photos, and one of them would usually be what I was looking for. It was interesting.
That's cool.
Yeah.
There was a whole dance performance I saw many, many years ago. It was like this dance company called Parsons, and they did the whole show was with different types of lights. So like there was one whole section with like these like mini flashlights, and the dancers used that to like illuminate the stage. But there was a whole giant section of strobe lights, and the strobes were coordinated in a way that like they would catch like a leap in the air visually. It was actually pretty amazing. So like the strobe would flash, and the only thing you would see was like somebody flying through the stage, and then the whole
Oh,
stage would go dark again. It was actually really interesting, and I mean, then timing on something like that is like kind of incredible. So anyway, so I think strobe lights are cool. So
yeah. And so this was a fun day, and I just wanted to point out that was awesome. I hope they get to use those lights for other things. Hope it wasn't just a one off. Like maybe hopefully they're permanent, because it was really cool to have that in the mix with lighting. But it was a crazy show, Chrissy. Okay, there was okay, how do I say this? because we're trying to keep the show within the YouTube guidelines here. An inflatable male member.
Interesting.
Yes, inflatable thing. They were tossing it around. I don't know if that's some System of a Down thing. I don't know why it was there. I don't know, but
The bachelorette party in disguise. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, but people were like bouncing it around in the crowd. There was
bouncing the member.
Yep, bouncing the member, and there was it was like a pink balloon, thing.
I was gonna say, was it pink? It's always pink.
Yeah, it's always pink. So I think it was pink.
Was it large?
Yes. Yeah, it was huge. If one of my photos comes out, I tried to get photos with this. It was hard.
Size or in like the
feet. Yeah, like feet.
Like
it was
3
giant.
Foot member. Like 6 foot member. How
like
big
as
of a
tall
member?
as a short person. It was.
Oh,
it
like a
was big.
4 to 5 foot member.
Yes,
Wow.
it was a novelty size.
Nice.
And if one of my photos comes out, I don't know. I haven't looked at them yet too much. But I saw one of them in there that if I can get it to work, it might be really really funny looking. It was hard to get a photo of it because it was so dark all the time when the strobes weren't on. However, that was going on, and I saw a lot of people there that I knew because everybody comes out for this. All the Broken Goblet people come out. So a couple of people, or one of the guys I saw there was my friend Jay Skull from Jay Skull in Spades. Here we go.
Did you do this on purpose?
The shirt?
Yeah.
Not really, technically. I mean, I was just like looking for a shirt this morning that I could wear, and it was this one. But it works out to our advantage because I met Jay there, and he had his little baby. And I said hello, and he hung out for a while, but then he had to go because he was going to go back to Jenkintown of all places because the place we wanted to talk about today, the Keep Easy. This is called a Segue. It's really bad, but the Keep Easy, which is a new, it's a new. I'm gonna plow through it. This is a new like meadery in Jenkintown that also has some other kinds of drinks, and we want to talk about it today because it's run by a friend of ours, Mel.
Fellow Jenkintonian.
Yep, fellow Jenkintonian. Used to be a tea shop, and her brother Michael, his name I always mispronounce, like Stoutinger.
I'm not even going to try. It starts with an S and ends with an N.
Yes, he was in some band. He was in a band that I remember seeing at Broken Goblet several times. That's where I met him. His name is escaping me right now. The band, but he was like a heavy rock band, and he's since moved away out of the state. And I hadn't seen him in a while, but he was coming up for this opening, and he was going to play some music there. And so I didn't learn about this till I was going to Gobletstock. So I didn't think I was going to make it, but I left Gobletstock 9 at the end, and it was late ending because of course these things always go a little late. I drove back and I made it after the music was done. However, in time to come and say hi, I saw it to Michael, and Jay was there, and I just hung out at the Keep Easy for a while, like into the early morning hours until we all realized that we're not like 20 and we should probably go to bed at some time. And so we all left. But that was probably my second time there at the Keep Easy. And then just this last weekend, right? I got you to go because when I was there, I was talking to Mel, and I was like, "Hey, do you have any non-alcoholic options? Because we're always looking for good NA options around Jenkintown." And she said, yeah, she had 0 proof liquor. And so we came back to give that a shot. And long story long, that's what we're talking about today, primarily. We're talking about the best places.
So we went to the Keep Easy, and it's super cute, I gotta say. It's over in Yorkway Place, which I think is like technically 747 Yorkway Place or something like that. I don't know why I know that off the top of my head. It's an alley. No, it's a nice alley though.
It's very nice.
It's a lovely little alley, and has trees, and they put up some lights in there, and it's like this little brick-ish looking. It looks almost like a little brick street, but it's not. It's just 2 buildings and an alley, and the Keep Easy is this little, like cozy sort of like speakeasy vibe in there. When you say it's like kind of like this secret little spot type thing. No, am I
Yeah, and
wrong?
if no, you're right. If you go to my Instagram, you might even I think I have some photos up there of it when I was there a few weeks ago. Yeah, and you can find. I'll put the links in the show notes to the Instagram page for the Keepies. You can see photos, but yeah, it's tiny, tiny, tiny place, but also has an outdoor seating. It has a
Yep.
bar that's stocked with mead, which is made from honey, right? I think,
Yes.
and also there's like several kinds of mead and also Pennsylvania liquors. And the thing that was most interesting for us was also zero proof liquors, which is so taking the liquor and then just extracting the alcohol and leaving the flavor. At least that's the intention behind it.
Yep.
And apparently they're expensive, so not really any cheaper than regular liquor. But the hope was that the cocktails would be good because we've been on a search for years now to find good mocktails.
Yeah,
Not so easy.
they were tasty, and I think I had two different ones. I'm trying to remember. The first one was the bee's knees, and that was, I honestly don't know what's in it
I think it was a
because
gin based.
yeah, but anyway, um it was like had more like a honey sort of flavor. It was good though, and it had the little piece of fruit in it, the floating
Little,
fruit.
little floating. Oh, you know
Right.
what? I think our image here from the show is that. I think
Is the
that's what it is.
floating fruit.
Yeah, this right here. See, isn't
Yeah,
that the
that's the
drink right
floating
there?
fruit.
Yeah,
Yep.
this is yeah.
And
So
you know
that
what's really nice about this? You get the full like I'm out and about experience. You know, like it looks pretty. It's in a nice glass. It comes, and it's on a cute napkin and it's in a nice environment and it's not like, oh, here's your juice.
yeah. Well, I mean, they're going for that over there
It's
intentionally. They even
very
had a
nice. I like it.
yeah. Yeah, even the table was custom. You can't see that because I clipped it out of the image for the today, but that from that photo, what you're leaning on, it was this nice table that had their like the Keep Easy logo on it, and stuff on it. They have this really cool decor, I think, in there with a what is that
Yeah,
thing
I
on the
like the
wall?
what is
Antlered
it? It's like a fake
deer.
deer. It's a dead deer.
Yeah,
It's a
I
navy
don't.
blue dead deer
I
head.
don't think it's a real deer. I have no idea.
No, I know. Okay,
No, it's
fine.
a
A,
fake.
a navy blue deer head
Yeah,
thing.
and and then the walls are painted in a very similar blue color, and it has a
Yeah, and there's a
bar, and
big, giant, black, tufted leather
yeah,
ish chair, or it might be like I don't even know. It doesn't matter.
yeah.
It's
There's
like a double person size chair. It's very large and very like
um
grand. Kind of it's cool. I like the vibe. I think she did a really nice job decorating it and giving it like a very specific vibe. Like it has a feeling to it, which is always great when you go to a place where you're, going out. You want to have like you want to feel like you've been somewhere.
Yeah, and I think that the combination of that environment and the fact that you can get a good drink that's non-alcoholic
Yes.
really helps because it's people who drink like myself may not realize this. You know how kind of important it is for the experience to have like the fancy glass and have something that is representative of an actual adult beverage. Looks like it, maybe
Yes.
tastes somewhat like it. I
Yeah.
tried your drink. I tried yours. It was really tasty. I don't know what the bee's knees tasted like with actual alcohol in it, but it was good.
It was very good.
Uh,
So how was you've had mead there because that is their jam. So what
hmm
you should
hmm
probably talk a little bit about mead or
Mead. I
I
mean,
don't.
it kind of reminded me of like it kind of reminiscent of a white wine, sort of in some ways. It's not. I had it several different ways. I've had a neat, like it gets the most flavor, and there's several varieties there. So they're kind of depends on what you infuse them with too. Like there's some infused ones. I had one that was like caffeinated, and one that was supposed to be
Wait,
more
did you
like
say caffeinated?
oh yeah, there's a caffeinated mead, like one that's
Oh,
yeah
caffeine and alcohol. That's the champion of some people.
yeah. Well, I liked it.
Um,
It was good, and I had some mead. I remember the last time I had mead though was the Renaissance Fair years ago. So I
I'll
don't
say
remember,
it's
but it was good. It's a very good mead. And then I had some cocktails there, but I had cocktails with their liquor, not with. I haven't tried the mead. They have like mead versions of cocktails. Like they have a mead version of a Manhattan and like a mead version of other things. But I didn't try them yet. That's on the list. I can't drink like too much there. I mean, they're like like full on drinks. I usually like stop at like 2, but
So
they're
I
tasty.
do appreciate, I gotta say, that the bartenders have their own little shaker sets. They're serious about their cocktails when they it's like bring your own equipment with the bartenders.
Oh,
Did
really?
you did you
I didn't.
notice that? The
No,
guy had his own special set that he brought with him.
oh, I didn't. I didn't
Kind of
know.
like when the hairdresser brings their own set of scissors. I thought that was very cool. Like there's like a commitment to the quality of your shaking.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah, I've every cocktail I've had was good. I had what I have. I had a Manhattan this time, and before I had an old fashioned, and they were both really good. And I had a White Russian as well this time. And I was trying to explain to you that isn't the White Russian from The Big Lebowski? Isn't that what he drinks throughout that movie?
Yeah,
He makes it.
that whole joke or story or whatever it was went way over my head. I was like, I don't remember movies like that, unfortunately.
Well, I mean, you don't remember The Big Lebowski?
No, I remember watching it.
You don't remember that, like the
details of
recurring.
it.
You don't remember the recurring gag of drinking, like I think the White Russian.
No.
Anyway, it was actually very good, and it was. So a couple times I had the old fashioned there, and the old fashioned, when that was before we were out there, was made with so that the sugar would melt as you were drinking it and got sweeter. This White Russian was made so that you basically could mix it yourself and see it all blend together in your glass. So they have down not just the flavor profile and other stuff, but they're thinking about how the drinks are presented, which is something you should do with cocktails. Like a good cocktail place will think about the presentation and the other aspects of the experience. Like you get the little activity of stirring it together and tasting the how the profile changes. Really very cool. I think this is going to be a successful place. I mean, I like the tea.
I really
but
like
this is
it,
good.
and it's super. It's right in town. It's obviously very walkable. I mean, I went to the
it's
tea
like
shop.
next to your house, essentially.
It's literally like in my backyard. I went to the tea place before that Mel had, and I just am not a tea person, but I also thought it was very super cute. But this I'm like super excited about because this is like, it's also something like right down the street that you can just like kind of pop over on a Friday night. Like, oh, I don't want the big commitment of I'm going out to the city or I'm going even to Broken Goblet, which is like a 30-minute drive. It's like,
Yep.
I'm not quite ready to put my sweatpants on. Let's go over to the Keep Easy for an hour.
Yeah, well,
I like that.
it's working out, and it's cool. You know what else is really cool about it, though, is
What?
no television. That's part of their deal. Like no TV.
Oh, I noticed that, but didn't notice that.
Oh yeah, that's intentional. No TV, no distractions. Technically, I mean, I think they say in some of their marketing, like leave your phone at home. Now, I did bring my phone and took a photo. Otherwise, that we wouldn't have the photo for the thumbnail. But in general,
That's
like
nice.
we weren't on our phone. Well, I wasn't on my phone texting or anything. You always get messages from the kids whenever we go out, but it's nice. There's no television distraction, which is I think everywhere, every other place, and we might have some time to talk about at least one more place. I think every other place in town has a TV. It's not always
Sure.
yeah, it's not always like real distracting, but it's there.
Yep.
And some places it's very distracting. And I don't like that. I like that there's no television. Like I don't want a television when I'm there with you on like a cocktail date.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, it's got a very
Yeah.
nice, chill vibe. I like it. We didn't
Yep.
sit outside this time, but I certainly would. I love sitting outside for stuff, and it's very cute.
Just in general.
No, I love sitting outside. It's like my
That's
favorite.
true.
But
That's true.
we happened to get a table inside, which I think was nice for that experience because I know sometimes it gets crowded in there. So I figured might
Yeah,
as
it's
well
tiny.
seize the moment and sit inside while we could.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the whole place is smaller than my bedroom.
Yes, it is, Steve. Definitely.
It's like I think my kitchen is about the same size as that place.
Yeah, no, it's pretty tiny. Yep, but it's cool.
It's
I think
cozy.
it's great.
It's cozy.
I really like it. It's
Yeah, indeed, and it's great. I think we're gonna go back there again and again and again.
yeah, I hope so.
Yeah,
So
indeed.
I thought maybe you said we might have time to talk about one more. Let's talk about the other one, the other place in town we go to probably most frequently, or at least recently, which would be Steven.
Human robot
Yep,
Jenkintown.
human robot.
Yes.
Totally different vibe, but also pretty cool. But
Yeah.
yeah, totally different vibe.
So
So go ahead.
we didn't used to go there. We used to
No.
we started going there more often because they added to their menu or to their drink menu some non-alcoholic options.
Yep.
It's they have currently they had a Pilsner and an IPA that are in cans from Industrial Arts Brewing. So it's not their brew, but it's a different brewery that I guess does really good NA beers. And yeah, so we get to go there, and you get to have a beer, and it's a fun time.
Yeah, I also like it there. Again, totally different vibe. That's like bright and you know super huge, spacious, but I really like Human Robot too. We usually sit kind of in the back and just hang
Yeah, we
out
grab
for
a
a little
table.
bit. Yep,
They
grab a
they
table, hang out.
they recognize me, and they know my order now. If we come in
Yeah,
the
I believe.
evening,
Yep.
so I got there. We went there the other day, and I walked up to the bar, and they say, "Hey, Steve, NA, like the NA IPA, like the Industrial Arts IPA, and like something else." I was like, "Yep, yep."
Yeah, I like it.
They give me the can. They give me a glass, so we can make it fancy. And yeah,
Yes.
and I really like their beer. So we other places in town are good too. You can go and get some NA beers, and you can get some mocktails. But these are the two places we've been to most recently, most often.
Cautionary tale about Human Robot.
Oh God, what is
Don't
this?
get run over coming home by people.
Oh, don't get run
Twice that's
over.
happened that we
Wait,
almost
what was
got
the
run
second
over.
time?
One was from the highway, so technically, I guess that's
Okay,
but
well
like right next
the
to it.
highway's right next to it. So the story. Why don't you tell a story about how we
Okay,
almost died twice?
yeah, twice. So the first time we were at the movies with Amelia and Jocelyn, or just Amelia, I can't remember. And we were seeing the Spider-Man movie, and it's the middle of the day, like broad daylight. I
Hmm.
mean, nothing like it's not like we weren't paying attention. We're walking back. We cross Greenwood. Some person turns literally right in front of us, like at like 40 miles an hour, almost hits all three of us, including
I,
Amelia.
it
It's
was.
very scary.
And I think this person. Wait, did this person come from the wrong lane too?
Yes.
Like
Yeah, that
not
was
from the turning
crazy.
lane,
Yeah.
and just she was like high speed, was like, "Arr!" And didn't stop. Looked at us, didn't even slow down,
Yeah,
and
it
like
was insane.
what? Yeah, it was insane. I don't think the person had a green. They definitely didn't have any kind of arrow or anything.
There's
So it
not
was.
there's no arrow there, which is I think part of the
Oh, there
problem.
isn't.
And
There's just a
then
green. Yeah, it is kind of
just
a
a
dangerous
green.
intersection.
And then the second time, I know for it was evening, but I know for sure we had the walk guy
Oh yeah, yeah. We had the
because
walk
I was
guy.
like, I am not getting hit by a car again. I'm gonna
Little
make
did
sure
you
I have the
know.
walk guy
Yeah.
because I'm not 100% sure whether or not we had the walk guy because it was like the middle of the day and I just wasn't expecting it. I don't know. We may have, we may not have the first time, but the second time, I remember saying to myself, "Don't go unless you see that walk guy." And then someone did the exact same thing. So everybody use extra caution when crossing Greenwood.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, because
There's
it's scary.
a lot of bad drivers. We may have even mentioned this on the podcast before, but people have it shows up in the statistics have just become worse drivers the last several years, and it's pretty dangerous out there now. Like I don't know how many times have I told you like we've been driving somewhere like I just saved that person's life by paying
You did
attention.
not save them though. You just
I did. I saved them from their own lack of attention.
yeah.
There's many times where there would have been an accident had I not been paying attention. So
Okay.
so
But
always.
you're like, I just saved that guy's life. The way you
I
say
know.
it is very funny to me.
Well, that's the whole point of saying it. It's supposed to be funny. Gotta find some entertainment in life everywhere. It keeps you happy.
It is.
So
true.
yeah, and so Human Robot. The other thing about Human Robot's nice. Sometimes there's music going on there when we go there at night.
Yes, that's nice as
And
well.
the food is really good if you're hungry
Yeah.
to eat something there.
And
And
you love Jazz Brunch. I haven't
do.
been there as often as you
Jazz
have,
Brunch.
but you love Jazz Brunch.
Jazz Brunch is great because how often do you get to hear good jazz live, and B, the
Every
food is,
Sunday if you want to.
if you want to, it's really good food. And I end up there, and almost always, perhaps every time I've been there now, Alex, as their friend Alex Barlow, has been there. And whenever Alex is there and some other people I know are there on Sundays, I end up spending all my money and drinking too much, and then I go home and I can't accomplish anything else for the rest of the day. so I don't go all the time.
Those NA options, they don't have that effect on you. So.
I know, that's true. But they have such good beer at Human Robot. It's like really good beer. So I like it a lot. Yeah, and the food's great too. The house, it's called, does the kitchen. It's really good food. So they're the two options right now that we have most recently been to in Jenkintown. So if you're looking to get a drink
out and about in town.
Yeah, out and about town. Yeah, exactly. You can get dinner at Human Robot, but you could go to like Pizza Wheel, you could go to Drake, you can go anywhere. I mean, lots of places get food. Yeah. Lily's, like, Marzano. I think yes, see, Lily's and Marzano. I think one of those places. I think we should go to like Lily's and have dinner, and then walk over for cocktails at the Keep Easy. I think that'd be a great night.
That's a super fun. You just created a perfect date night.
Indeed.
For all of those listening, if you need a great date night, Steve just laid it out for you.
That's right, and it's a real short walk. And then eventually, it is public knowledge, right? That the new place opening up in
what
at Yorkway.
What place?
Ice cream.
Oh, the creamery.
Yeah.
I believe that is public knowledge.
Yeah. So
if not, we just talked about it anyway. So,
well, there's eventually going to be Carmel. How do you pronounce his name?
I can't do it.
Carminetti.
Carminetti.
Oh, so we're terrible.
I could spell it easier than I can say it. I got to tell you, it's terrible.
We're terrible at pronouncing names.
Anyway, write it down phonetically.
There's going to be a creamery there, which is it's a gelato, right? Technically. Yes. But ice cream, we'll say in quotes. So it's very, very good. And once it's open, I mean, I could see another great night where you go out with maybe the kids and they have some ice cream, and you can get a mead drink or something, like, because it's practically next door.
In a little alleyway and enjoy.
Now, here's what I want. If they're both watching, the proprietors of both the establishments, is the Keep Easy and the Gelato, can we create some combo drink? I've always had this idea in my head that I wanted to
not again with the DQ and the whiskey or whatever it is.
Yes, I always wanted to own a Dairy Queen / bar, and then make some kind of beverages that mix the two. And we have the closest thing right here. We have higher quality ice cream type products,
sure you
obviously.
Could convince them to make you a DQ whiskey or whatever you want.
I don't know what it would be. I think we have to experiment on making some kind of like a beer. Well, an obvious thing is a beer float, because you can make root beer floats. Maybe we can make a beer float or a mead float. I don't know. It could be disgusting. Could be the greatest thing ever. I am willing to experiment.
Okay, Steve.
Especially if I don't have to pay for it.
Yes.
But no, I think that it's going to be a great combo, though. In any case, having both of those establishments there, and then right block away from everything else. So definitely, if you're a Jenkintown resident, check out the Keep Easy and Human Robot if you haven't already. And if you haven't come to town, you should definitely give us a visit. But I'm looking at the clock, and Chrissy, what time is it?
It's time to wrap it up.
Okay, it's time to wrap it up. Look, I made a new slide for our wrap up here. You can, or overlay, whatever you call it. So up on the screen, you can see how you can find us. You can, most importantly, subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can subscribe to us there, ring the bell, all that stuff. Like and share our content, because it really does help with the algorithms. It's not a joke. People say that all the time, but it's actually true. We are invisible unless you interact with our quote unquote content. So we're on the YouTube. We're also on Instagram and Facebook at Jenkintown Arts Garage. You can go to the main podcast website at jagcast.show, where you can subscribe to any of the different platforms we're on there. You can find links to them. Our main website is jenkintownartsgarage.com, where you can find out what we're doing. Photos are going to be there. Some other videos are there. That's our main home on the web. And then also, if you go to JenkintownArtsGarage.com/coffee, if you're so inclined to provide some financial support for the show, that's where you can do so, and you can, give us some cold hard cash.
Yeah, you give us dollars in the form of a coffee.
Yes, and then
then we can buy coffee.
It would be helpful because this is not cheap here. Making this costs some money. I could be nice to help pay the streaming bills here. But yeah, so that's going to be it, I think, for this week. Do we learn anything this week, Chrissy? What do you think?
Why are we trying to learn things?
That's it. That's the perfect end. I guess we'll see you next time.
Okay, bye.
Well, learning's right.